as Abuti Hendrick has said, ke undiretsi, from SAMRO. I'm from the Writer Services Department. Yeah. So this is how my presentation is going to be today. Can we go to the next slide, please? Oh, actually, I've got a competition coming up. Hopefully, one of you will win. I'm going to ask one question based on the presentation. All right. So now that Abuti Hendrick has asked, Jorge, what is SAMRO? Do we know what SAMRO's role is? Okay. What does SAMRO do?
And for how long so that they can be able to collect your royalties.
That's true. Thank you. So, yeah, give her a hand. That is true. That's true. So our primary role is to administer performing rights on behalf of our composers, authors, and publishers as well. However, publishing companies don't really get funds for their music. It's not their music. It's the composer and author's music. It's not the publisher's songs. What they do is market artists' music on their behalf. So they would get a split from that. Yeah. And then, so we do so, what we do is we would, what's this? We would license music users such as radio stations, TV broadcasters, ShopRite. Yes, when you hear music playing on ShopRite, you just know SAMRO is getting money for that, and that money goes straight to you, right? So yeah, we are one of actually the only CMO in Southern Africa. Yeah, we are the only CMO in Southern Africa, and we collect worldwide, okay? So what we do is, let's say maybe your music plays go United States. So United States has its own CMO, which is BMI. And then BMI would collect on our behalf, now that you would be our member. BMI would collect the royalties on our behalf. And then those royalties would come to us. We would then pay those royalties to you as our member. Yeah. And then if the member has royalties worth 1,000 rands, unfortunately, we won't be able to release those funds into the account as yet because the funds need to reach a threshold of 3,000 rands before the member gets the funds. So that distribution, we call it foreign distribution. That's one of the distributions we have. And then going forward, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so performing rights. I did mention performing rights. Performing rights would be the rights to perform music in public. So if your music is performed in public, you have the right to get royalties for that. If that place is not licensed, you as the member have the right to report that, that establishment. Yes. And then members would earn their royalties when the music is either performed in public or broadcast on mediums such as TV or radio. I've just mentioned that. Can we go to the next slide, please? So who are SAMRO members? Our SAMRO members would be composers, authors, and publishers. So a composer is a member who creates beats, or an artist who creates beats from scratch. If you're going to take Sun L's beat and say it's your beat, unfortunately it's not yours, you're not going to get money out of it, okay? Yes. Therefore, if you think that maybe there's a beat, or if you loved a certain beat on the whole song, then you can take it, but you need to speak to CAPASO for permission first, right? And then an author would be an artist who writes the lyrics. So anyone who maybe has a verse or adds a verse to a song, writes the whole lyrics of the song, that person would be an author. Next slide. Music publishers. So our publishers are companies who market artists' music on their behalf. That publishing company, before we can allow them to sign any of our artists or any of our members, they need to be registered, like Abu Hendry has said. They need to be registered with CIPC. And then once they are registered with CIPC, that's when they can either sign any of our members. Okay? The next slide, please. So how to apply for membership? We go to our SAMRO website. Well, you go to our SAMRO website. Our website is www.samro.org.za. That's our website. Once you are in the website, if there is an applicant that wants to apply for membership now, if there is, go to our website. It's samro.org.za. Once you're in the website, you click on Music Creator, click on Online Application, and then once you're on the online application, make sure that your ID number is filled in correctly, your email address is filled in correctly, because throughout the whole application process, you're going to get emails. So the first step, you're going to get an OTP from the same email that you've entered on the application, and then the second step is that you're going to get an email again once you've fully submitted your application. You get an email that has banking details as well as a reference number. So you use the reference number as well as those banking details to make payment, because there is an application fee of 100 rands if you are registering as a composer or author. Okay? And then there's also an application fee of 500 rands if you're registering as a publishing company. However, if you're registering as a publishing company, do make sure that those artists that you're registering are under or are signing are under, SAMRO, okay? Next step, please. Okay, so what happens when your music dies down? Let's say your music has been on high rotation for about 3 to 4 years, you've been earning big bucks. You've been getting about 1 million rands for all the distributions yearly. You've been getting 500,000 rands for radio distribution or TV distribution. And now, 10 years later, you're getting like 100 rands or 50 rands or even 2 rands for one distribution, or even 2 distributions, 2 big distributions, which is radio and TV. We've got benefits, namely the retirement annuity fund, and then we also have the funeral benefit. So with regards to the funeral benefit, there's a sum of up to 25,000 rands that a member gets should one of their immediate family passes on, God forbids, okay? So this funeral benefit covers members, covers the main member, which is you, and then it covers your immediate family being your spouse, your children who are under 21 years old. Then you can claim. However, you can only claim before 6 months or after 6 months that the death has occurred, okay? Claim after 6 months that the death has occurred. If it happens that maybe you were not a member at the time, however you were getting royalties and you are not aware, you can register with us. Once you're fully registered, that's when we'll check if the songs are under undoc. There's something called undocumented works. So if your song is not registered and you are not aware that you've been getting high rotation, your song will sit under undoc until you claim. So you can claim for not more than 3 years, okay? So call us, we'll check if you have any undocumented works. If you do have undocumented works, then initially you do qualify to claim, Okay, so you become an active member just after you've registered, because usually what you do is you register first, become a prospect member, become an active member once you are elected by the board of directors, and then become a full member. So you register, once you're a prospect member and we do see that you haven't documented works, that's when we will then elect you to become an active member because your works have usage. Usage being royalties, okay? We would pay that amount to you once we've notified you that you have been elected, and to please update your banking details. You update your banking details and the funds are released within 14 to 21 working days. I know it takes a bit of time, but we have quite a lot of members. Yeah. And then we have another benefit, which is the Retirement Annuity Fund, which is administered by Robson Savage. The Retirement Annuity Fund is not contributed using your royalties, okay? The royalties we get, that member forfeits after 3 years. We take those funds that you forfeited after 3 years, put them in the distribution pool, and then use those funds to contribute towards your retirement annuity fund. Okay? So if, for instance, you are an earning member, a highly earning member, you would get about 100 rands or 150 per royalty payments that you get, depending on how much you are earning. However, we do contribute for each distribution that you get. So every time you get royalties, just know that your money is also going high on or going up on your retirement annuity fund. And then members can also, claim the funds. Before the two-pot system, members could claim an amount of 15,000 rands and less, not more than that. But now that we have the two-pot system, members unfortunately cannot withdraw the funds should they have a retirement annuity fund of 15,000 or less. Because remember, the policy states that you can only withdraw 10% of your value of savings from your retirement annuity, right? So if you have 15,000, then it means you would get how much is it? 1,500 of 10%? Yes, 1,500. The rule is members can only withdraw not less than 2,000 rands. So you can only qualify if you have a value savings of 20,000 or more. So if you have 20,000 or if you have 30,000, then it means that 10% of 30,000 would be 3,000. Therefore, you qualify to withdraw. However, if you want to take an early retirement, then you can do that. Early retirement being if you are under 55 years old, or maybe you are sick, or the doctors have deemed you not okay to work, you know, maybe your leg, you normally work around fixing things, and now all of a sudden there's a problem with your leg. You can't be climbing on things if your leg is a bit, you know. So yeah, then we would take that to Robson Savage. The trustees would sit down and see if really this person can work or cannot work. If they find that, yeah, this is true, from the medical reports that we find, we have seen that this person actually cannot work at all, then therefore we would give you all your funds and withdraw, right? However, once you've retired, once you've fully retired from the fund, you cannot go back again, unfortunately. So early retirements, I'd like to stress this, do not take them, because that's like taking your pension money and saying, whatever, you know? And then now when you're older, you call us and say, I think I have retirement annuity waiting for me. And we're like, no, but you're retired. You took an early retirement, therefore we haven't been collecting for you. We haven't been contributing for you, you know? So yeah. And then we also have a retirement of once you are older than 55 years old. So once you are 55 years old, yes, we do contact those members and just ask if they would like to retire or not. And then if they do want to retire, then we would withdraw those funds and they would get the funds within 6 weeks from Robson Savage, that is. Next slide. Okay, so how SAMRO distributes royalties to its members. The royalties are split into categories, being radio and general distribution, TV distribution, live performance distribution, MIT being mobile and internet transmission distribution, and foreign film. Okay? So there's actually more. It's just that these are the major distributions. There's NS being when a member has not registered, however, the member has royalties due. And then we have undock, whereby the member is registered, however, the songs were not registered on his profile. Then that member would get royalties for undock distribution. And then SAMRO royalties are paid retrospectively per our financial year, which is July to June. So this year we are paying royalties for the year 2023 July until 2024 June. Those are the royalties we are paying because we are 1 year behind with paying royalties. And then the schedule is released at the start of every financial year, being July. So each year in July, just know that there is a new schedule available on our website. Because I know some members would call and say, when are we getting paid for radio? But the member didn't even check on the website to see whether the new schedule is released or not. So just to make sure that you check on our website, check the distribution dates before you even call and find out, because definitely that information is available on the website. Yeah, I'd like to believe that I am done. Are there any questions regarding my presentation? Yes?
I was saying, with regard to publishers, who's responsible for the payout of a publisher?
We are.
You are.
Yes.
So if I haven't got my publishing royalties, what do I have to do?
Publishing royalties, you mean, are you also a publisher?
Yes.
And you signed yourself under your publishing company?
Yes.
Then if that's the case, it could be that you have not accumulated royalties of 1,000 rands or more. Remember, the publishing company has to accumulate royalties of 1,000 rands or more, whereas when you are a composer-author, you have to accumulate royalties of 100 rands. So you would get the royalties first, and then the publisher, once they have accumulated royalties of 1,000.
I think it's 2 years back, if I recall very well.
Yes.
There was a list that was going around of publishers who did not get their monies and all that. So I got, like, somebody screenshot and say, Helen, this is your publishing company. And then when I went to say, how do I go about it, like, I was just...
How do you go about what? Claiming the funds?
Claiming the funds, because I could see even how much is there.
Okay, so we recently have this thing of going to our website and checking if you have unclaimed royalties. So you go to our website, click on creator, and then check if you have any unclaimed royalties. You enter your ID number or your company registration number, and then it would appear that you actually have unclaimed royalties. No? So if you do have unclaimed royalties, definitely, chances are we have sent you an email notifying you that you have been elected as an active member. However, maybe you didn't see that email. Once you are elected as an active member, it means you need to update your banking details. It means that you have money that's due to you. Once the banking details have been updated, that's when the money is released into your account. However, what I'll do is I'll sit down with you just after this session, sit down with you, and then we'll check if you do have royalties due and what the problem is. Because chances are it's just a matter of you updating your banking details if that's the case. Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm trying to find, what about, I notice you only mention like royalties. Are you generally all types of royalties, like needle time, mechanical, performance, or?
Unfortunately not, no. We only collect royalties for composers and authors. Anything that has to do with needle time, it's SAMRO. Anything that has to do with mechanical rights, it's CAPASO. So, however, we have an agreement with CAPASO now. We collect royalties of 50% of their mechanical rights. So what they would do is they would collect everything on our behalf. Anything that plays on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, they would collect. And then they would send us a report of 50% that we have the agreement of, right? Take that 50% and then we would pay our members. So if your song plays on YouTube, CAPASO collects, and then CAPASO would send those funds that belong to you to us, and then we would pay you. However, you also need to register with CAPASO as well, because chances are you also have the other 50% waiting for you, go CAPASO.
And then the second question, the RA, how does it work? Because you can say, I'm 55, I've retired, but your music still plays and you're claiming I'm sort of
When
not sure.
When your
does it work?
music still plays, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't get royalties. You do get royalties, but we no longer contribute for you.
So
You've just retired from the fund. We no longer contribute anything for you. Yes, you would have a high rotation maybe on your music. You'd get those royalties. However, contributing to the fund, you won't get anything. We will not contribute because you've already retired.
yeah, but that's where I'm sort of confused a bit. How do you mean like you retired? Because in my understanding, when you're retired, it means you're no longer working.
You're no longer working, yes. It means that you want to take those funds that are in the retirement box.
Yeah.
It means that you need that money. That's why you are retiring. Remember, it's when you are retiring, normally when you're working, they take a certain percentage from your salary. But we don't take a certain percentage from your salary. We contribute from the distribution pool. Yes. So meaning we stop taking money from our distribution pool for you because you've retired from the fund.
And then the fund's name. In
Sorry?
case the fund, the name of the fund.
It's
Like
a retirement annuity fund.
from which?
It's Chef.
Chef.
It's administered by Robson Savage.
Or do I go into Robson Savage?
Yes. Yes. However, you first need to check with us so we can check how much you qualify for
Okay.
first.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
My question is around information. So what I wanted to know is that are there any regional offices around South Africa? Let's say if I'm just a guy from Mpumalanga or, deep in the rural areas, how do I access this kind of information? Ne? If there are any regional offices whereby you could get such information beside Uguti Uyegu internet straight, because we all know the internet process of the country, unfortunately. Ne? And then my second question is about build up Yagaputi. We all know Uguti how the funeral policies work, as well as the retirement annuities policies work. But I just want to know, especially when it comes to the funeral cover processes, how do you guys as SAMRO notify, in this instance, I'll call the artist the client. How do you communicate with the client? How do you qualify for this certain policy types in terms of the funeral, and how does the claim process yakhona ukuthi isebenza kanjani in terms of the funeral policy? Then when it comes to the RA, the retirement annuity, what particulars are needed and how does the member contribute? Because I think in terms of the RA law, it's that the institution must contribute and the individual must contribute as well. And how does the claim process yakhona ukuthi isebenza kanjani? And my last question is around about media. That's my last question. So we've seen, I think we've all been in the media space. How does the SAMRO has have that, what can I say, bad media in terms of corruption, people guti SAMRO no idla emails ama artists. And let's say if I'm an artist, I'm just starting, I want to register as a member. How does this yonke lento le guti sebenza kanjani? Well, I don't know whether to say it's misinformation or it's just bad media. Isebenza kanjani this whole process? What's the correct way, the accountable way, and the responsible way of doing things when it comes to when you are just an artist ufuna ukwazi more about the SAMRO processes? Yeah.
Okay, so usually with regards to the retirement annuity fund, yes, we all know that they would take a certain percentage from your salary, but remember, this is not your salary. It's royalties. So we don't take anything from your royalties. Remember, we are a non-profit organization, so we can't take anything from you. The money we get is your money. It's no one else's money, but it's members' monies, right? So we contribute because there's a rule that states that members cannot claim after 3 years, right? So if you cannot claim after 3 years, what's going to happen to that money? That money sits in the distribution pool. Therefore, we use that money to contribute on your retirement annuity fund. And then once that money builds up and builds up and builds up, that's when you can decide whether you want to withdraw the funds or not. But if you don't want to withdraw the funds, you still cannot. Even if you are 55 years or older, even if you are 70 years, if you decide you don't want to withdraw, you don't have to withdraw. It's not something that we force our members to do. No. You can still leave the money, let it sit there until maybe God decides to take you. And then when God decides to take you, the money will go to your kids, right? So that would even be a savings plan for your kids, okay? And then what was your next question again?
The media in terms of
bad publicity.
yeah, and can you encompass that? Just include it. Do you have regional offices so that we just do?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we do have another office in Durban, Playhouse. That's the only office we have at the moment. Sorry? You said it? Yeah, we have one in Bram, and then we have another one in Durban. So it's just 2 offices. Bramfontein being the head office, obviously. So yeah, the one in Playhouse in Durban, that one is only for inquiries such as portal access, member applications, the basics. Anything that has to do with queries, anything that has to do with your retirement annuity or royalty inquiry, definitely call the head office, which is Bramfontein. Okay? And then anything that has to do with bad publicity, unfortunately, I cannot answer because that's the marketing department's role to answer. Okay? However, this thing, SAMRO eats members' money, we all know that it's everywhere. Yes, I get where artists are coming from. However, I also feel like artists also don't want to learn on their side as well, how SAMRO works and what the rules are when you register for membership and sign the deed of assignment. What exactly are you signing? So I remember last week, there's this guy who just came and said, "Ish, my sister, you know I want to register, but they say you guys eat our money." And I'm like, okay, so why do you want to register if we eat your money? I don't know, I heard from the grapevines that you guys eat our money. And I'm like, well, what makes you think we would eat your money? Because at firstly, you're a prospect member. You're not even a prospect member. You haven't applied yet. And already you have this bad idea about us that we eat members' money. Then it means we are going to eat your money because we are the only CMO in Southern Africa. We are the only CMO in Southern Africa, meaning we collect all the royalties. Anything that's licensed by Metro FM or SABC, it comes to us. Therefore, it's our money. We will have to distribute that money to our members. But if you are not going to register because you heard someone say they eat our money, then we are going to eat your money and give Abu Hendrick King Chaletea CSI.
Oh, yes. And I just got one, eh?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I was part of the music business class with
Music
Soul
Business
Kenya.
Lab.
Soul
Oh,
Kenya.
okay, that's good. So Waban, Toti, Nto. And then now there's also the Music Creation Support Fund. Members had applied. They got their 25,000 rands last year. You know, maybe 25,000 because you didn't register. So had you registered, maybe we even would have given members less because the money went to the right, the rightful owners of the royalties.
But I think, however, it's sustainable. We have regional offices each and every province because two won't have.
Well, the marketing department has been working on that. It's just that the board has been delaying it a bit with approving other offices, right? Because remember, most of our members are from KZN. Most of our earning members are from KZN, which is around Durban. Yes, KZN, Maskandi as well. They're very big. And then Gauteng. So those are the biggest royalties that we pay our members to. We'd pay go Durban, pay mo Gauteng. So if we go Northern Cape, you would find like 5 members. What are the chances that a member would walk in today and say, I've got a query? Chances are very slim.
What are the chances that there's so much potential in that specific area?
There is potential, yes, but remember, now we'd be wasting resources in terms of having this space open for people who are in the Northern Cape. However, there's only 5 people who are registered with us. So we might as well just help them from afar.
Yep.
Okay, my question is, what if nginengoma ne
Yes.
ngirekhode kuyo so idlale TV and I'm not getting royalties for that and I'm a member of SAMRO.
TV.
Yeah, let's say some TV show, for argument's sake, it's Afro Cafe. I was part of the theme song, and I'm not getting royalties for that.
Did you inquire why you're not getting any royalties?
Bengisho nje, ngifuna
okay.
ukuzwa kuwe ukuthi siyenza kanjani case
Oh,
enjalo.
okay. So what you do is you'd obviously call us, call the customer services, which is 011-712-8000. You'd call them and just find out if you have any royalties due. So like I said, we are 1 year behind with paying royalties. So chances are maybe we haven't started paying as yet. Let's say your song played last month, right? And then you call us this month and say, my song has been on high rotation for a month now. Where's my money? We tell you, Jorge, there is no money as yet because we don't have that report yet from the broadcasters. Remember, the broadcasters would give us their report based on what they've played that year. But because we haven't received that report, we can't be paying anything. We don't know how much we need to pay you from Afro Cafe as yet. And then chances are as well, maybe Afro Cafe is not licensed. We check with the licensing department, see if they are licensed. So what I always tell my members is that make sure that when you distribute your music or when they play your music, make sure that where that song is played, it's licensed. Because if it's not licensed, then you wouldn't get any funds. You wouldn't.
Yeah, asithi bona abangifakanga
We split sheet.
ku split sheet and ngiphathi yalo
Production.
ngoma. Yeah. So yimengala maybe yimengala trumpet or saxophone lapho iyadlala ingoma 3 years yonke angitholi next.
That would be your responsibility to make sure that the song is notified correctly. You are also added on the split sheet and you've signed the split sheet as well. So we have a split sheet available on our website. Once you've released a song, or before you even release that song, make sure that everybody who participated on this song signs that split sheet before you even notify the song on the portal. Because the portal doesn't necessarily mean that once you've notified the song on the portal, that song is accurately registered. Chances are someone else is just trying to be greedy and register the song, maybe 80, I get 80%, you get 20%. Or I even say, I'm going to get 100% because he doesn't know anything that has to do with SAMRO. You know, and then maybe later on, after 3 years, that's when you actually realize, oh, there's something called SAMRO. Let me give them a call. Only to find that this person has been earning royalties of 100%, and they didn't add you on the splits. And then if that happens, what we would do is adjust the royalties as per the split sheet. So we would call you and confirm whether you participated on the song, check, investigate and see if when the song was released, who was added on the song. So if you are also on that song, you were also added on the song when it was released. However, you were not, you were not added on the split sheet or on the notification itself. Then we would contact the person who's been getting the royalties and then let them know that they will be adjusted. So any other royalties that would come in, we would pay you first. And then once the funds that are due to you have been fully paid off, that's when we will pay him his royalties. So that's why I'm saying it really is your responsibility to make sure that the song is notified correctly. If you worked with me on that song, ask me, did you notify the song? If I say yes, notify it on your end as well. Don't ask me and say, did you notify the song? Just because I said yes, you relax. Also notify the song. And then if you see that this song, there's 2 people who notified, however, the share splits don't correspond, then would contact both these members and find out what is the problem. Where did you guys go wrong with notifying the splits? Why are the splits not corresponding? And another thing, do you have a query regarding your royalties? Okay, then we'll talk just after the session.
Yeah, here's another thing there. This thing can be twice. The question is, how did you contribute in the song? Remember, a song consists of words and melody. Khona abanye inkosi yami badlalile nje ama keyboards lapha bafuna nobody owns chords. Nobody owns chords. Nobody. A song consists of words
And lyrics.
and melody. If you took part of writing the melody, then you co-wrote the song with somebody. You're a composer. But if they know amagama ge. But if you're just sessioning, then they need to pay you session fee. And then comes Sambra with little time. You're a session musician.
As a
But
performer.
if you didn't co-write the song, you cannot be, unfortunately, credited. So a song consists of words and melody. Those are 2 things. If you took part in those 2 things, then you can be credited. Man, if you dlalile saxophone nje nkosi yami wathatha isolo, angeke. Yebo? Bese ngisho angithi wena uyenzile. And futhi angisazi nale story what cafe, Afro cafe. I was just saying. Yes,
It's not your query.
No, it's not his query.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of the lessons, a song consists of words and melody. Nobody owns chords in Kosiam. Call about composer, I'm a piano player. abaklima ukuthi ama-compose. There's another issue nje I was dealing with recently of a client who said, but this song has been on, yeah, and it's a very famous group that we all know. And she mutana bantu, ingoma yakhe, upiano play, uthi yena yi-composer, udlale nje ama-chords that he doesn't even own. Yabo? Hence, we need such sessions. A song consists of words and melody. If anybody tried to help you, ne, and they didn't write any of those, because they are not, they're just session musicians, and pay them for that. And anybody who spends their money making your music, ne, they will own that master. Hence, Mapurisa case. Ne, kumbula Mapurisa. That was all over. Yeah. The guy who says, yeah, but you came to my studio. Was when someone's wami, ugesi studio sami, ukudla kwami, nalotshwala ba. And they even offer you booze. We get excited by such things. We've got talent, we've got songs, but we don't have money. For the person who spends or pays for the master, owns the master. Even if the songs are yours, and futhi if they credit you nkosi yami umusa nje. So ningajaheli ukuya ezitudweni zabantu no record. Because that's then how you then get robbed. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think my question was just around this the same thing that let's say you compose the song, like you put the lyrics and the melody and give it to maybe a certain artist to go and record the song. And from your side, based on the agreement you had with the person, you follow all the procedures to say, okay, you have an agreement, though it's just a verbal agreement. You know, you go to the portal and put the song and say, you are the writer, you know, this is the artist of the song in the portal. However, when the song probably has been released, you know, when you check the credits, you know, you are not part of the credit in that. So I just wanted to find out, does that affect your part, you know, as a songwriter in terms of the royalties you will receive? Or is just maybe something that is okay, it's fine even if your name is not on the, you know, when you go to Apple, whatever, you check the creditors, your name is not there, but you have registered the song, is there in the portal. So I just want to understand that because, you know, you are again trying, you know, you're not sure if you're going to be exploited and things like that. So I just want to, understand how does that affect, or do I then go to the artist and say, hey, put my name there as in those credits, you know, do I have to now go to the artist and say, put my name there, you know?
It doesn't really affect you from getting royalties. So if it happens that you were not credited on the song once it was released, you can still get royalties. Chances are maybe the people who released this, when you took the song to be released, they forgot to add your name or whatever the case may be. But when you notify the song, make sure that you add everyone. That's why we stress on members completing a split sheet before they even release the song. So if you didn't get a split sheet, then just know that you might be robbed. So what you would do is, if it happens that you are not credited on that song, you would call us and just find out if that song has your name as well on the notification. If it doesn't, then that's a query on its own. We would have to investigate, contact all the members who participated on that song, just to confirm whether you did participate on that song. And another thing is that if you are under a publishing company, especially big publishing companies, there's always T's and C's. There's always that fine print that just, you know, takes your money. So make sure that if you are going to sign yourself under these big publishing companies, you get a lawyer. Sit down with them, read that contract fully, understand that contract, what it entails. Read it to the T. you know, because chances are, even if you terminate that contract with them, they'd still get your royalties. Maybe they say on the contract it states that they would get royalties even if after even if you terminate with them, they'd still get royalties for the next 3 years. There's nothing we can do. You signed the contract. And we don't even meddle in artists' agreements because it's an agreement you guys had. It's binding you. It's a contract, you know. So before you even sign yourself under any publishing company, or before you even release a song, even if you guys are not signed under any publishing company, make sure that you guys sit down, address splits, find out who's going to get how much, why, you know. Don't just add someone because they are your friend, because I've seen cases where someone would come and register and say, what did you do on this song? And then they'd say, I sang. But we don't collect royalties for singers. We only collect royalties for composers and authors, which are artists that create beats and write lyrics only. So if you sang, go to SAMRO, you'll get royalties tsa gago ko SAMRO, you know? And then the person who created the beat and wrote the lyrics, those are the people that we would collect for. Those are the people that deserve to register with us. You know, once they are registered with us, that's when they would then get maybe 100%. You would get 100% because the next person was just a singer. But because you are not aware that this person, if he's a singer, he'd have to go to SAMRO. You both came and you registered, and then you would get 50%, he would get 50%. Whereas both of you would have gotten 100%, the other go SAMRO, you go SAMRO, you know? So yeah.
I'm not sure if this would be the relevant question. Where does, or how does SAMRO fit in this issue of fair use legislation in terms of the usage of material?
How does?
The fair usage legislation that they passed. I don't know if they passed. And the second question is this, this issue of registering your works and stuff. I remember watching a reel, Eugene Tetu, showing us examples where you have the same song registered, but it has 2 different codes.
Yeah.
And then how are you handling that type of a situation?
When you say codes, you mean ISRC codes?
Yeah, those, yeah.
Okay, so with that, it's got nothing to do with us because we don't use the codes at all. When you notify a song, you get a reg ID. And then once the reg ID appears on or is generated on our system, that's when we also add a work number that's linked to that song. So when we check usage to confirm that this usage truly is yours, we take the work number and then send it to copyright department to approve that work number, that this usage that's linked to this work number is really correct. But if it's chances, well, anything that has to do with humans, there will be a mistake somewhere, you know? So there are cases where the work number could be linked to the wrong usage. Ne? And then if that's the case, then those usage reports would come back again to the writer services, which is us. We would then investigate and check whether these people who are on all of these lines being usages appearing on this work number, we check each and every line to confirm whether this line has you, has Abuti Hendrick, has Theo, then we'd confirm that this is the right usage. But if we check the other usage and see that, but there's Foster Tinet Peter here, who's Foster Tinet Peter? Then it means that usage is wrong. Remove that line and then set it aside. Check the next line, check the usage if it is correct, just like that, until we get to the last line to confirm whether this usage is really correct. And by the time we pay the member, we are paying the member based on the usage report that we got.
So it never happens that the same song is registered by 2 different people?
It does.
And how do you deal with
it? It does. 2 people would register the song, but the reg ID would be the same because maybe the name of the song is the same, I guess. And then we would check, hore, this song is I Love You. We check the credits, see if this I Love You belongs to me, Untiret. But there's another I Love You when we check on Apple Music. there is another I love you that belongs to Zbongile, for instance. And then we would link the one that we want to pay. I don't know if I make sense.
Okay, it makes sense. And then the fair usage thingy.
Okay, with regards to fair usage, it really depends on licensing. I wish the licensing department was here because they would have a deeper explanation as to how they do it, okay? So the licensing department would get a license fee from, let's say, SABC. SABC would pay 1 million that year, ne? And they played music for thousands and thousands of artists. Therefore, meaning the unit rate is going to be slightly smaller, depending on the minutes or seconds that they played the song. So if they played your song for 2 minutes, and then they played my song for 30 seconds, it means that I'm going to get less, whereas the licensing department got 1 million, but I'm still getting less because my song was only played for 30 seconds. Your song was played for 2 seconds. So that unit rate, there's a unit rate that's linked to the license, to each and every license fee that we get. So if that license fee is 1 million, we'd link the unit rate based on the number of members who these songs were played. So if maybe 10 members had, they played songs for 10 members, then we would pay that 1 million to the 10 members, meaning you would get a lot of money because they only played 10 members. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take one
But
last
then
question.
again, I think, Abuti Hendrick, if we're going to have another workshop, it's best that we also have the licensing department available.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so sisters, I also wanted to ask, based on that thing you're speaking about, the split sheets, that split sheets are SAMRO. After you fill it up and signed with your collaborators, do I have to send it back to you guys, or it's like I have to just keep it for?
You don't have to send it back. So it's just your proof that this is the agreement we have. You can keep it or you can send it to us, and then we could also have a copy as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. A round of applause for SAMRO or Sinterezo.
Okay, so I've got 100 rands here from
Okay.
SAMRO. I don't know if Abuti Hendrick maybe would ask a question, and then based on based on our session.
Based on our session. Yes. Yo, okay.
Did I put you on the spot?
Yo, I'm trying to think. How much is an application fee for composers?
Okay. Application fee.
Okay, first, who are SAMRO members here? Who are SAMRO members?
And both
Okay, SAMRO members, I'm not going to give you mine because you guys know. You
already know.
Registered. You are registered. We want applicants. We want,
new applicants.
yeah. Maybe, you know? Yeah. Are you a member? What's your name? I'm gonna check. Okay, let's give the students a chance.
Yeah. Shame.
What about me?
500. Wrong.
No. Pussy.
Okay, you're
Hey,
fighting.
well, you're not a student. Give her.
That lady at the back. There's your 100.
Yeah. Sibusiso. Oh, this one.
Shy. Please register. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kupare mo sapele matsoho one more time.